persistent when he wants something. He wanted to take me to West Ham. It was again for record money. It was 3.2 million, which was the most West Ham had ever spent on a player. And I had a great spell there initially when I first signed for Harry. I just felt that I instantly connected with the supporters. I know lots of supporters don't like you to kiss the badge. And I can remember my agent at the time saying to me, "John, when you score your first goal for West Ham, you kiss the badge." I got above Sol Campbell on a Monday night football, and we won the game 4-3. Brilliant game at Upton Park. Rainy night it was, and a wonderful way to sort of good introduction to West Ham and the crowd. He hit the ground running. I scored quite a few goals initially when I got there with Paul Kitson. We were in that relegation zone for a number of weeks. We quickly climbed out of that. So we survived. We retained our status in the Premier League. And in the next season, I was flying. In my second season there, I scored 24 goals, which was my most in the Premier League. I think I finished 1 goal behind Michael Owen that year for the Golden Boot. And a wonderful rapport with the club. Harry was brilliant. He knew what I was capable of, and he would tell me to do the things that I could do and to do them well. You know, he didn't expect me to run the channels, didn't expect me to track back. That wasn't my game. But what he expected me to do was to be physically aggressive in the right manner, to bully centre halves, which I enjoy doing, hold the ball, give us enough time for the team to come up the pitch, give us a little bit of time for a breather, get across defenders, score goals. He was great to me as a person, as my manager, and he showed me a bit of respect. I was the leading goal scorer in the Premier League, and then it fizzled off slightly. I got 1 or 2 injury problems. I had the issue on the training ground with Al Berkovic, which was a huge regret of mine. It was just a normal day's training, really, and there was no reason for it. It could have been anybody. It was never personal with myself and Niall. He was a wonderful little midfield player, made a lot of my goals at West Ham, very, very unselfish. Great player, good balance, good way to pass, good appreciation for his teammates. And it was just a ball that rolled into me, and I lost the ball, and my reaction was, I tackled Niall from behind, and as he got up, he sort of threw a little punch at me there, and then I lashed out with my left foot. And it was caught on camera. I'm not trying to defend myself in any way at all, because what I did was totally wrong, and it's the biggest regret of my career. But at the time, I was probably a very angry young man, 20 years of age. Physically, I liked the aggressive side of it. I thrived on the aggression. I'm not talking elbowing people off the ball or going in and tackling over the top, but just being physically strong. And it was never personal. That's what's crazy about it. Isle was never singled out. It could have been any one of them players on that training ground that day. And I was obviously suspended by the FA for that incident. And it just went downhill. It really, really did, and it's a lesson to me and a lesson to any young footballers. When you're there, you've got to try and stay there. Don't rest on your laurels, slightly maybe what I did. I had lumps, and they gradually got a little bit bigger. One day, I showed my wife. I said to Sarah, look, these are, look at the side, and she's like, sort of looked, and she said, "Good grief, how long have you had that?" And I said, "About 3 years." And she nearly fainted. She said, "Oh my God." She said, what are you doing? She said, "You need to go and see a doctor." I said, "But I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine." She said, "No, that is just not normal." And so I told her a little lie. I told her I'd gone to see the doctor, and I hadn't. And then gradually, as time got on, I started to get headaches, really bad, sort of mind-blowing headaches. For me to have carried on, maybe, in the vein that I was, towards the end of my career, where I was gambling heavily, and I was drinking and eating wrong and everything else, and would have been quite naive, really. Celtic is, if I said, is a phenomenon of a football club, then I'd be doing it an injustice. It's more than that. It's just an unbelievable place to play your football. The adulation by the supporters, the Celtic family around the world is just massive. It's on a different scale to what anybody can ever appreciate. And I love my time in Glasgow. It's a great city, you know, like Welsh, little Celts, and you know, they took to me as well. So I've got nothing but great memories of the 5 years that I had up in Scotland. I worked with great managers, Martin O'Neill and Gordon Strachan, two guys I have an enormous amount of respect for, not just as football men, but as people. And the players were just outstanding. We had a great team, defence right the way through to the strikers and the midfield players, and the characters that I met up there as well, you know, the Scottish friends that I have and I've still got to today, and have to say not all Celtic people either. One or two friends from the other side, if you like, I've kept in touch with, and, you know, really good people. So Celtic was a dream really for 5 years, that's what it was. I'd like to think I was successful while I was there, which is always important for a player, for an individual. You know, if you can come away being successful, then, you know, it leaves a sweeter taste in your mouth. And it was just amazing. And the Celtic fans know what they mean to me, and as a football club, you know, I would walk on broken glass to be back at Celtic one day in any capacity. They know that. You can be the fittest man on the planet and run 2 marathons a year and be a non-smoker and get diagnosed with lung cancer. How is that? How does that add up, really? It first started when I was a very young lad. Gambling became a huge part of my life. Probably the most important thing in my life, because I was an addict. When you're an addict, you have no real appreciation of what you're doing to everybody else, because you're only thinking of yourself when you're addicted. Compulsive gamblers are compulsive liars. We're very deceitful, we're very sly. We do anything to get that bet, you know, and I carry that around with me for over 20 years. I never played football for the money, I played for the love of the game, and I genuinely believe that. But it had a huge effect on my life in terms of, I believe that the stress that I put on myself when I finished playing football, that I'd gambled a lot of my money, resulted in me, you know, becoming ill. Your health is imperative. You know, you cannot do anything if you haven't got your health. You know, it's number one. If you can't get out of bed in the morning and walk down the stairs unaided and make yourself a cup of tea, then what is it all about, really? I started to get headaches, really bad, sort of mind-blowing headaches. There was a lot of pressure on my head, and once they realised that that was the case, I was going to die imminently. They had to make a big decision very quickly. I had to then jump in an ambulance and make the 15-minute journey to Morriston Hospital, where they were going to perform an emergency brain operation on me on the neuro side of the hospital. I had to survive the brain op, and luckily I got there in time, and luckily I survived the op. So. I was in hospital then for the best part of 6 weeks. I just went basically to hell and back. When you get told you've got cancer, your initial thoughts is that you're going to die. That's what you think, and you just think, oh my God, that's it. And then when you get told it's so severe as it's spread from your testicles to your lungs and onto your brain, then that's like an extra double blow then. Brain gone into my head. it turns your world upside down. It really does. You basically have to just go and get treatment and chemotherapy, and hopefully that will have a massive effect, which it did. My blood markers went from hundreds of thousands to single figures after the first couple of sessions of chemotherapy, because chemotherapy ravishes your body. It's like chemicals going through your body, and it not only kills the horrible red cancer cells, it's also killing the lovely, beautiful, white, shiny cells that keep you alive. I can't honestly say that I thought of anything really other than getting out of hospital and surviving and getting the luck that you need. There was an incident where I'd had a good chat with my brother, that I asked him to look after my kids if you know, worst come to worst, because I could trust my brother to do this for me. So when he came to see me, then we had a good sort of heart to heart, if you like. What word that is, heart to heart, but yeah, we had a good chat. You know, there was one bad night where I thought, this is it. I wanted to survive really for my children, because it would have been horrific if they'd lost their dad at such a young age. So that was my sole focus. It goes beyond football. It's deeper than football. It's someone's life, and you know, someone's a father, someone's a son. Yeah, I can vaguely remember seeing faces, but you know, I was very lucky. I was very fortunate. You know, people say, you know, you must be strong, but I tend not to agree with the strong bits, because there's people that are really strong and they fight, and they lose their battle. So I wasn't stronger than them. They fought for their life, you know, and they fought for their loved ones. I put it down to luck, basically. It wasn't my time, you know, because I should be 10 feet under, really. I shouldn't really be here now. So the fact that I was never a smoker. I trained hard, so that meant I had good lungs. I had a strong heart, you know. That would have helped. It's totally changed my outlook on life, really, in terms of my view and my perception of life. Time with my children is special. You know, walking along a beach, just sucking in the fresh air, just doing simple things that so nearly got taken off me. And it's the simple things to me. I've been very lucky. I've had, you know, the nicest cars and nice houses and clothes and suits, and it's all immaterial, really. You know, it's your health. If you haven't got your health, you've really got nothing. Gambling affects relationships, ruins marriages, ruins relationships with your children, your family. I had to get help. I had to save my own life. I had to save my relationship with my family, my wife and my children. I had to change my way of thinking. I had to change my character. My wife basically gave me an ultimatum. She said that I'm not going to hang around any longer and watch you put yourself through what you're putting yourself through. And also, I won't stand around anymore and watch you put me and your children through this anymore. I'm not having it. I'm leaving you. I'm away. I've been up all night. I've packed my bags and I'm leaving you today. I love you very much, and this is why I'm doing it, because I cannot stand seeing you like this anymore. And that day was the sort of breaking down day, really. I broke down, became very tearful, just very weak. It was something that I had to do, and I got Gamblers Anonymous up on the computer. There was a meeting, and I asked, could I come along? I need help. And I went along. It was October the 5th, 2011. And I went, which was very hard. And I said, I'm John, I'm a compulsive gambler, and I need help. And the help was there. And to this day, I've not bought a raffle ticket. And I'll be 5 years clean from gambling. And I can honestly say, if I hadn't have stopped gambling, I'd have been in one or two places now. I'd have either been in jail or I'd have been dead. That's how much of the gambling had an effect on me. I will always be a recovering gambling addict until the day I die. And I will continue to go to GA meetings because they have played, well, they played the only part in me getting clean, really. And the fact that I've finished the gambling now and I've stopped and I'm clean and I can focus in on conversations and doors are opening for me in terms of, you know, I've been assistant manager of my national team. I worked closely with Chris Coleman and I've got a contract with the BBC, and good things start happening when you tend to turn your life. So that's what I am now, and I want that to continue. But the stopping gambling has been absolutely just massive in terms of my life. You know, I know the cancer is your health and it's your life, you know, dead or alive. I'm alive, but I'm even more alive that I'm not gambling because I'm fresh and I'm thinking clearer. So I'm in a good place. I feel good, I feel healthy. I'm basically just going to do the right thing and keep the nut down, as they say. Looking back now, I'm 40 years of age now. When I was 19, up until I was about 30, I lived a different world. I lived in a different lifestyle. I had more money than you can imagine having. I could have had any car. I could have had any house. I could have had any suit. I could have gone on any holiday destination. You live in a bubble. You have no real appreciation of reality and what the man on the street has to do to survive and live. And where I am now, retired 5 or 6 years, I have a massive appreciation for that. And at the particular time, I probably didn't appreciate what I had and what was going for me, you know. And broke a record at Arsenal, broke a record at Westham. From a young lad from Swansea to go up, and the achievements of that, you know, is massive, really, when you put it into perspective. But I never really appreciated it. I never really took it that way. But looking back now, you're a bit older. One good thing about getting older, you get wiser, you make better decisions in life. I've set up the John Hardtson Foundation, the charity to help others. And, you know, we are doing really good things there. We're raising thousands and thousands of pounds, which are going back into the hospitals and the places where we can help people, you know, hospices and places like this. And I've got great children, I've got a fantastic supportive wife, and I'm in a great place now, I really am. And a lot of that is to do with coming through that horrendous battle with cancer. Because if you can just come out the other side, you know, it just makes you appreciate what really is important in life. I'm no magician or genius, so I'm just a very humble, normal guy from a council estate just down the road. I feel very blessed, I feel very lucky, and it's changed, it's turned my world around, really. So having had the second chance now, I'd like to think You know, I will do things a little bit more sensibly and, you know, as I go along in life, because I came very close to losing my battle.
Today, live and exclusive on these channels on BN Sport.